This is our Google My Business workshop.
Hmm.
So, a little bit about Monica and myself. We have been NEMT business owners for a little over 6 years. About 2 years ago, we started a second business, which you may all know, which is MJ Business Academy, where we provide resources to new and existing NEMT business owners. And we really take pride in really creating community and helping each other out as a community. Um, so we provide educational courses. So we have courses on how to actually start and launch your NEMT business. We have courses on, market research because market research is pretty much the core of um, starting and growing a successful NEMT business because you need to know if there is a need in your community. So we have courses that are designed to support you in your startup stage. But then we also, like I said, focus on community and support. So we are I want to say we're the leaders, Monica, and I feel confident in saying that we're the leaders
Yeah.
when it comes to building community and supporting that community. So we have digital products on our website, like business templates, documents, contracts, NEMT brokers list, anything that you need to essentially start and scale your NEMT business, it's
Yeah.
on our website. So if you scan the QR code on the screen in front of you, it'll take you directly over to our website where you can just kind of take a look at our courses and our digital products. And we also offer consultation calls. But also, we are very active on social media. So you can find us on YouTube, which we really, really love. We have our NEMT Man Talks. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok. So definitely connect with us if you have not connected with us yet.
Yeah.
So, Monica, I don't know if you want to say a thing or two before I pass it on to Harry.
I think you covered everything, but I will just like to welcome everyone to this session. Like Jasmine mentioned, it's going to be very informative. So I hope you guys are taking notes and you are ready to learn as much information that you can, because I can tell you right now, Harry is about to drop some knowledge and share a lot of good information with you all. This is something a lot of people have been asking for. Like, we've started a business, but how do we grow? How do we scale? And so this session will give you a lot of that information and some things that you may be missing in your business, or if you haven't even started your business, this is information that you need to know before you launch your business. So take notes. Jasmine, I'll let you go ahead and introduce Harry, and so we can get started.
All right. So I am going to turn the floor over to Harry Chambers. He is the marketing strategist for Osborne Digital. He is very knowledgeable as it pertains to marketing for our NEMT community. And, Harry, I want to say thank you for joining us. I know we've done a couple YouTube videos where we have sat down and talked with you and have talked with some of your clients. And I really, Monica and I really feel confident in your offerings because we know that it's working. And we know that it's
Absolutely.
working because we've connected with your clients, which are also a part of our community. So I'll go ahead and, open up the floor to you, and we're ready to get some of that knowledge that you have.
Yeah, I'll try to live up to that introduction. But I definitely appreciate it. So, I mean, this is going to be interactive. It's going to be informative. So if you guys have any questions, you'll have an opportunity to ask questions. And then we have our contact information towards the end where you can reach out to us to have a consultation if you have additional questions about what we talked about here today. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. If you can turn it over to me, I'll pull up the. And this isn't going to be one of those like workshops where it's like all slides, right? Like I hate going to presentations or workshops where it's like we just talked through 10 different slides. Like we're gonna move around a little bit, but I did want to start things off with a few like just kind of icebreakers to kind of get you in the right mindset. So I am going to.
And while Harry is doing that, while he's going over this information, guys, if you have any questions at all about any of the information that he's going to share with you all, drop your questions down in the chat because, like Harry said, we are going to go ahead and try to answer some of your questions as we move along.
So obviously this is the workshop for the Google business profile, but really we're going to talk a lot about reputation. So the things we're going to talk about are around like how to create the Google business profile, but it's also encompassing around why your reputation is important in the NEMT industry, right? So one of the first things we want to get into, we want to talk through, we want to get in the right frame of mind, right? So we have a bunch of NEMT owners in here, right? A lot of people are doing private pay, some people are doing Medicaid, some people are doing a mix of both, right? So if you're primarily Medicaid or dominantly, a lot of Medicaid, Medicare rides within your business, sometimes it's hard to break into the private pay mindset, right? Because, the rides are coming to you, you're getting, asked to take certain rides, you're accepting those rides and providing those transportation solutions for those clients, right? So on private pay, right, you're dealing with the face of the customer. It's a little bit different, right? So this little test here is to get you in the mindset of what somebody is going to do if they're going to pay for their ride, from a private standpoint. So these are a bunch of bars around Dallas, food, restaurants and bars around Dallas. So I'm taking it as an example, like, hey, when my wife says, hey, where you want to go to eat or you want to try this new place, I'm always like, all right, let me go look at what she's talking about. Let me go look at the reviews. Let me go check them out. What's on the menu, right? What do they offer? What's everyone else's experience been with with this particular restaurant or bar, right? So the same thing happens with private paid customers, right? They're like, hey, I need my mother to get picked up from her doctor's appointment. Let me go see if there's some companies out there who offer that service, right? So they go to Google. Google is the largest search platform. Obviously, there's others like Yahoo, Bing, stuff like that. But the Google platform allows people to collect reviews, get information about the business. So when I go into Google and I type in different restaurants, right? There's this Foxy's restaurant and bar, right? And I'm looking through the reviews. I'm like, I don't think I want to eat there, right? I see some reviews about here about food was pretty bad, 1-star reviews, 2-star reviews. And even if they do have bad reviews, that's okay. Everyone is not going to give you a 5-star review, but I also see that they're not responding to the bad reviews, right? So that's about client engagement, always improving your customer service. So I'm like, probably don't want to go to Foxy's, right? So I look at Fizz, another restaurant and bar, and I kind of look, okay, they're doing pretty good. A month ago they got 3-star review, 4-star reviews. Great place, cocktails, great music. And then I look at 32-degree rooftop and rooftop bar. I'm like, okay, yeah, I think it's someplace that I want to try out, right? They got 4-star reviews, great atmosphere. They've been in business a while, so. I brought this as the first slide so we kind of switch our thinking into what is the customer thinking when they see my business or what are they looking for when they see my business, right? So the Google business profile helps promote and engage your audience in a way that if they didn't call you directly to talk to you about the business, can they find the information that they need there, right? So click on the next slide here. Okay. So all a Google business profile is a list of businesses within a particular area that meet a particular set of services that you may have searched for in Google, right? So if you type in NEMT near me, you'll pull back a bunch of different results. Some of those results will be ordered in years of service, how many reviews they got, how many good reviews they have. So Google obviously is a huge company, right? So they want to show great businesses to the people who are using their platform, right? So because nobody wants to promote 1-star review, 1-star restaurants, right? So the thing about getting in some of those top search rankings is all about making sure obviously your business has good ratings. And if it, even if they have 3 or 2-star ratings, you're engaging with those clients, right? So the Google Business Profile is a free tool, right? Free. So if you're not haven't taken advantage of it, there's a QR code. If you scan that QR code, you can actually, it'll take you right to Google's, I think it's business.google.com, where you can actually register your business and start the process of getting your business on Google in terms of a Google business profile, right? The profile, helps business connect with customers, gives them information, location, hours of service. Obviously, there's a lot of businesses that don't have a physical location from an NEMT perspective, right? They're working out of their homes, they're working out of other locations. You can still create a Google business profile and not have to share your actual address. I do it for my business as well, and I'll show you guys that here in a second. But you can set it as a service-based business, and it'll, highlight what your service areas are. So don't be, turned off by the Google business profile because it has addresses here. You don't have to list your address. Um,
I didn't know that. That was good information, Harry.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And I've walked dozens of people through this process about, hey, go ahead and still create it, and then you'll have the option to hide the address because you're a service-based business.
And that's
Yeah.
good to know because there are a lot of new NEMT providers that are just starting out that are operating from their homes.
Hmm.
Correct. Yep,
And if
absolutely.
I can add too, like, recently I had a consultation call with an individual and we were talking about marketing strategies. What are some things that he's currently have in place in order to grow and scale his business? And he was totally against having a Google profile. And the reason being is because he was like, one of the things that you just mentioned, Harry, what if a customer leaves a bad review? Like, how is that going to reflect my business? But as a business owner, you should never think about that. And
Oh, no.
customers shouldn't be, even though of course it may happen, but you don't want that to deter you from people being able to locate your business and you having a profile and people searching the website being able to locate you. But I also think like people that think like that, those are your competitors, and that's one way to set yourself aside because there are a lot of people that are not on Google, doesn't have a Google profile, and that's, that's setting yourself apart from your competitors. So it's definitely something that you want to do. But
Yeah,
I really would not.
yeah, exactly. And I was going to say, even in that, he's probably thinking, I need to give better service, right? Like if you're
Yeah.
really giving bad service, and you're like, yeah, I don't want a Google profile because I know my reviews are going to be terrible, right? So it's
Yeah.
also a way to kind of like, I don't think this guy's giving really good service because if you
Right.
good thing
Was,
for the community, you want people to give you that feedback, right? That's
was
just
he
kind
a
of
new business owner?
Yeah, he was just starting out. He was just starting out, and we were talking about like website. Is he on, do he have a Google profile? Like we were just talking through different things, and he was like, "But what if they leave a bad review? Like that's the reason why I haven't done it because I'm afraid of the reviews I may get." And I'm just like, "Whoa!" Like we need to stop there and have a deeper discussion about this. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. No, very good. So when you click that start a new profile, right? You'll come up to the place where you're registering your business and stuff like. It's going to ask you name of your business, phone number, all that good stuff. And one of the big like roadblocks a lot of people run into is the verification process for Google. So if you've gone through the verification process for Google, put a one in the chat. I'm just curious to how many people have actually gone through this process. So Google, how do I say this respectfully, right? So Google is great, right? It's a huge platform around the world, right? The verification process is one of the things that has probably held up a lot of businesses from like really taking advantage of the profile because I've run into a lot of clients, right? And we'll go through this process and they're like, okay, let's click to verify. And sometimes it'll say, hey, provide your email and put the code in to make sure that you're the business that you're saying you are. And as soon as you put that code in, you're verified, right? There's no other action you need to take. Now, there's been some businesses where they'll get this screen here and it's like, okay, select a way to get verified, right? And you look on here, you're like, okay, you click more options, and it literally is just blank. So all you have to do, the only option you have is an actual video verification, right? And that is it's a process, and they actually don't tell you what you need to do in the video. It just says video verification. We just want to like show your location, your equipment, proof of management, all that stuff, right? So over the years, through trial and error, dealing with a bunch of clients, I ended up putting together a video of what exactly you need to do if you're an NEMT owner and you're verifying your profile, right? So this is specific to the video verification can pop up whether you have a physical location or you have a service-based business from your home, right? So even if you have a home-based business, they still want you to record a video of yourself, your location, your business, and it's kind of like a proof. It's proof that I own this business, proof that I manage this business. That's kind of how you got to think about this, right? So without that, you mean I would be able to create a profile for MJ Reliable Business, right? Like so, like you don't want anybody to be able to create businesses, create profiles for businesses that they don't manage. So this is their way of having a process to make sure people are, creating profiles for business that they actually manage. The problem is they don't give you a lot of instructions, right? And it's really subjective on, what you need to do. So best practices, I know some people may be writing stuff down. So best practices, we're going to go through this video real quick. I'm going to stop it and actually talk through different portions of this because so that it makes sense. Um, but best practice is to keep the video less than 2 minutes, right? Because if it gets bigger than that, the file size gets larger than what it needs to be, all that good stuff. So when you're doing video verification, always remember to keep it under 2 minutes. And then once I click on this link, we're going to talk through the different elements of the video and what it needs to look like, right? So, okay, only verified profile. So in order for the profile to actually show on Google, it has to be verified. So there's no way to like, hey, I just want to create a profile. I want to be verified. That's kind of defeating the purpose because even though you create it and it's not verified, nobody can see it. It's not, nobody can, leave reviews. Nobody can check the hours of the business. It's kind of just an invisible profile that only you can see, right? So we want all of our profiles to be verified. So this is don't laugh at my video, but this is we put together an AI generated video because, right, I don't have a production studio to go out and hire actresses and stuff like that. But this video walks through the elements of what you need to get your profile verified. So it's specifically for NEMT businesses with no physical location. But if you have a physical location, you can do some of the same things that you're going to see here in this video. So I'm going to press play and I'm going to go through the first section and I'm going to pause it to kind of explain what's happening in the video. Can you guys hear that?
No.
Can't hear? Okay, that's fine. It's just music. Okay, so step one is always going to be record yourself outside with your branded vehicle, the name of your business, like you have the logo of your business on your van, right? Record, yourself at the vehicle, and that's essentially what this next video is, right? So it gets to okay. So as you can see, like I said, don't laugh at my AI generated video, but you can see this person is clearly has access to this vehicle, right? Name of the company is Care Out, medical transportation. AI always messes up the words, but you're showing yourself having access to the vehicle. So you're going to, open the door, stuff like that, right? So now that proves to Google that, hey, I am a manager of this business. I have access to his assets. Here's the vehicle with, branded with this logo so I can understand, okay, yeah, this is, Care Out medical transportation. The next part is probably the most important part of it is if you have a home-based business, and this is so weird to me, but it absolutely works every time, right? So if you have a home-based business, Google wants to ensure that you have access to the registered business address for the business, right? That makes sense. So if your registered business address is your home, they want to make sure that you have access to the registered business address. So this would look different if you have a physical, business, right? You would literally go up to your office with the name of the, business on your door, open the door, that proves you have access. So the same thing or the same mindset goes into step two for home-based businesses. So you're going to record yourself outside the registered business address, usually your home, and make sure that the address numbers of your home are visible and kind of show you entering the premises. So that's essentially what this video is, right? You see the numbers of the house, entering the business, and then obviously nobody has an office at their front door. So again, AI generated stuff. But the step three, let me let it play so you can get the wording in. Okay. So step three is really you entering the office or entering your home where you conduct business, right? So if you have a registered business address of your home, obviously you're conducting business from your home. So if you have, business cards, you got shirts, you have your business license, documents, stuff like that, in an area where you actually conduct business, like maybe your laptop sitting somewhere. Show the area that you're conducting business and show that um, have a business license and stuff like that, and leave all that stuff showing in the video. So the next part of this video is actually going to show you kind of what that looks like from a video perspective, right? So this is simply, hey, I have access to Care Medical. Here's my, let me go
So,
back. You got it. Yeah, go ahead.
oh, Harry, we have a question here.
Yes.
Jacinia wants to know, what if she doesn't have transportation yet? She's just starting up now. So I guess her question is, if she doesn't have, she started her LLC, has her business licenses and everything, but she just has not procured her vehicle. And maybe she just wants to get started early with her marketing. Maybe, the vehicle is, she's going to be purchasing it maybe within the next 30 days, but she still wants to set up her Google My Business profile. Is it possible to do so without the van?
Yes, it's possible to create the profile, but you can't verify it until you kind of have some of those assets in place, which is okay, right? Because if the business isn't starting yet, you're not collecting reviews. People aren't, searching to see what your business hours are, right? Because they're not operational yet. So you can actually still create the profile itself. It'll just be out there, and then once you get the vehicle, you would just start the verification process. It usually takes I've seen it take from maybe a week or two to get verified once you have the video elements in there. But after that, it's verified forever, right? Unless you change your location or something like that. But I would go ahead and just create it to have it live out there. You can put all your business information in there, and then once you're open and you're ready for it to show live, that's when you're like, okay, let me start the verification process. I have my vehicle, my branded vehicle. I can show all those elements of the video. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that answered your question, Jacinia. If not, then definitely if there is any type of extension to your question, just go ahead and drop it in the chat.
Yep. So I was going to rewind just a little bit so you could see that last step about the home office, just kind of showing where you conduct business, show your business cards, company apparel, business license. I would say the license and the cards and registration documents are probably more important than company apparel. But that's just, adding to the profile. Um, All right, and we talked about this in the beginning. It's actually 2 minutes, not 1 minute, so ignore that 1 minute there. So you want to keep that video length less than 2 minutes, and then wherever you can show business documents, business address, and documents when possible. Those are some of the best practices. But yeah, I'll try to share this. I think I did share this video in the Facebook group for MJ Business Academy. But if you guys want to reference, just go to Facebook. You can find the video, or we can send it out to the participants at the end if we need to. But kind of use this as your guide when you're doing that verification video because it is annoying. Like in the beginning, it's a process, but I think about it like, hey, you only have to do this one time for the life of your business, right? And it's there, and you can start leveraging and start using your profile to get you customers, right?
Right. And we have another question,
Yes.
Harry. So Talia says, does this help with getting your website indexed?
The Google Business Verification does not help with getting it indexed. So you're talking more about SEO, which we'll talk about here in a second because that kind of all plays into the Google like ecosystem. So the indexing piece of it is more so about the Google search. So if I go to google.com and I search for your business, does your business pop up in Google? So if I search for your business directly by name, it needs to be into the Google Search Console. And there's our web developer probably has better sense about this than me, but there's a site map that you have to like upload into the Google Search Console. And then once you do that, your pages are indexed. And then when I search for your business and your business name directly in Google, it'll show up once those pages have been indexed.
Okay. And then she has a second part to her question as well. What should you do if you have a virtual address? Um, and it looks like her virtual address is a co-working space, which,
So is your Yeah, that's good. I've run into this as well. So is your virtual address, the registered address of your business, meaning your EIN number is registered to that address. Because if it's not, you still want to use the registered address for your business from an EIN perspective. So when you go create your profile, if you want to list that physical location, you can still list that virtual address or co-working space as your location. But for the most part, most NEMTs, like if they don't have like a huge complex where they're storing their vehicles and stuff, sometimes you don't really want your customers to know, okay, I'm right here in this particular, section of the city or whatever the case may be. Because if you're not physically operating out of that location, it's not really as important, to be honest, as a service-based profile where you're kind of showing your service area. So that's kind of how I would approach that personally.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like the EIN and all of her licenses are connected to that virtual
Connected.
address.
Mhm.
Connected to what again? Sorry, I didn't hear that last part.
Virtual address.
Okay. Yeah. So if your EIN is and stuff is registered to that virtual address, so you would kind of shoot those elements of the video, right? And then you would show, hey, my business license is registered to this address that I'm showing you, right?
Okay. Thank
But
you.
yeah, I mean, feel free to reach out to us. We can help you get some more details on that for sure. It always helps if your location or your space is branded with your business name and stuff. All that helps with the verification process as well. All right, let me get back.
And I'll say too,
Yeah.
and I'll share with you all the reason why this hosting this workshop was so important to us was really because a lot of business owners, when we have our consultation calls, we ask about online presence and visibility, and
Mhm.
people say, "Oh, well, I have a website," and I'm like, "Okay, well, do you have a Google business profile?" And they're like, "I think so," and I'm like, "Oh, really? Let me have your business name. Let me check."
Yeah, let me go type it in.
And it's so important because I mean it's really a free service to really get your business out there, and it has
Yeah.
helped us so much in our business within the last 6 years in growing our private pay clients. And we all
Mhm.
know those private pay clients are golden. So if you could do something as simple as setting your profile up and setting it up the correct way,
Yeah.
you are putting your business on top. So
Mhm.
this was really important to us. And, Harry has helped so many NEMT business owners. And so just the tip of having your company apparel, those hats, those documents on the table when you're doing your 2 minute recording, that was some information that I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
and that's just come from like I said, trial and error over the years. Like when we first started, we didn't know about like I mean we knew about NEMT, but we didn't know anything about like okay, what's the verification process? So we had customers like, oh, I tried this, I got denied. I tried this, I got denied, and I tried this, I got accepted. Like, okay, what did you do? Okay, we're gonna write that down so we can make sure the next person does the same thing, right? So this is just kind of information we've gathered over the years to kind of help that process. So
Yeah.
definitely take advantage of it if you haven't. Um, Go ahead and get and even if you have your profile created, go ahead and start that verification process so we can get your business out there to people who are looking for it for sure. Okay, so that's the verification process. So once you've gotten that done, right, now it's about, okay, how do I leverage that profile to get customers, to attract customers, right? And it's not an overnight thing, right? It happens over time, right? But you have to have the foundation laid, which is the Google Business Profile. So there's a couple different ways to it's like okay how do I actually get reviews for my business, right? So there's a few ways you can do it, right? You can manually send review requests to customers, copy and paste your link and email it to everybody you've done a ride with, right? There's automatically, and obviously we have the NEMT CRM that we actually do ours in. So I know I have a few clients in here who are currently using the system who are like I can't wait to kind of figure out how to better utilize the system so I can optimize my profile, right? So this will be very informative for both kind of sides of that spectrum, right? So from a manual perspective, this NEMT, CRM that we have, you can, create contacts and send them a review request right from the system, right? So that's kind of a individual on a need to need basis. There's also a way to automatically send out reviews, which is the next kind of how do I scale this to every time a ride is completed, send them out a review. And then a mass communicate is more of a, hey, I want to upload a list of customers and send out review requests over time, right? So that the mass communicate part is one of the things that we're working on with. some of the providers like Route Genie, who's the other? Forget the name out there, but all of the dispatch companies. So a lot of the dispatch companies have the ability to not only download your contacts and we can upload those contacts into here, but we're working on an automatic connection. So if you're using one of those dispatch software and you're like, hey, I just want to have a marketing system for my contacts, whether they're doing Medicare or private pay, we can feed that information into the system, and now you have a way, a mechanism to always continuously communicate with those customers, collect reviews over time. So the mass communicate part is more about taking my contacts from here, pushing them into here, and sending them out those review requests that we talked about, right? So before I jump into like the QR code for consultation and stuff like that, I kind of wanted to give some more information on what this system is and like how it can help you in your business. Do I have any questions in the chat before I jump over there?
No questions in the
No
chat.
question.
No questions. So you guys better ask your questions, because if you are gonna DM us about questions regarding to Google My Business profile or any of this, I'm gonna just simply respond, how come you didn't ask your question?
Nah, all good. Like I said, it's gonna be, I mean, we can talk through stuff all the time, make it interactive. So if you guys have questions, don't be shy. So one of the things we wanted to, so this is the NEMT CRM that we have, right? So there's 500 features in here, right? But some people are like, hey, I don't need that. I just need this piece, right? So it's kind of like going to the buffet, like, right? You're like, I don't want all this food. I just want this one little thing, right? So the reputation system is what a lot of our clients are using instead of using like the entire platform. They're like, hey, I just want to use the reputation and get those reviews, get my Google business profile optimized. So I'm actually giving you guys some insight into my business, because my business is actually on the NEMT CRM platform as well, which is built on the high level platform, by the way. But these are all of my reviews for my business. So this is how I conduct my business from a review perspective, right? So I have automations built into here where like, hey, after somebody, pays an invoice, a couple days after, a couple weeks later, send them a request to leave me a review, right? So over time, I'm automatically collecting reviews without having to manually copy and paste my link on Google, email it to the client that I just did business with, right? So that process becomes automated. There is a lot of stuff in this reputation section, so I'm going to try to best do it without like taking up like the whole day. So the first part is really, let me move my video out of the way so I can see what you see. Okay. So the first part of it is really just, like I said, it's just an overview of the business, right? How many reviews you've received, how many invites you've sent out, what's the sentiment been, stuff like that. So um pat myself on the back. I haven't got any negative reviews or less than 5-star reviews, but this allows me to see everything in one place, right? So I can see how many reviews I have. I can see the trends of my reviews, like how, over time, where am I trending, right? One of the other things that I use this for, and I think about this from an NEMT perspective, right? So I can do a competitor analysis, right? I can go in here and say, hey, I have my NEMT business here in California. I want to look at what my competitors are getting on their reviews, right? So I can add competitors in here where I can actually see all the reviews they're getting, how long it's taking them to respond to their own reviews, just to kind of keep an eye on the competition, right? Because competition is important. So you want to make sure that you're at least in the ballpark or headed in the right direction of your competition. And believe me, if you're in one of those major metropolitan areas, your competition has Google business profiles and they do definitely have reviews, right? So you want to stay abreast of what's going on with your competition, how you stack up against that competition as well. Because when people see, obviously these aren't, all NEMT businesses, but especially Route Genie, right? So as you're looking through your competition, like, hey, I got 4.8, star, and my competitor has, 3, right? So you're able to kind of compare yourself in real time versus how your competitors are doing. Um, so that's
That's good
another thing. Yeah.
information. That's good information. I'm sorry, Harry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's really good information because, like you said, you always want to be a step ahead of your competitors and know exactly what they're doing and how they are setting themselves apart from your business as well. So
Yes,
that is
absolutely.
that's some very good information.
Yeah. So,
I don't like the word competitors.
Well, that's
what,
what
what,
they
what do you, what
are.
do you like to say?
She don't like to see people as competitors, but that's
Oh, okay,
exactly
okay.
what they
Got
are.
it. Yeah.
Because trust and believe they watching and see what we doing as well. Like, well, how can I be better than MJ?
Yeah, exactly. Excuse me. So that's one of the ways I use at least this overview tab to kind of look at my competition, look at how my reviews are going and stuff like that, right? And then you can, send manual reviews. This is also connected to my Google Business profile, right? So we talked about getting verified, right? So once my profile is verified, I can actually do everything to update my profile right here in the system, right? I can, add images, I can add services. If I wanted to list my address, I can do that. If I want to change my opening hours, right, I can change that as well right here to see everything clear as day. And then this helps optimize the profile even more, right? So you have an overview. This kind of talks about the business. You can kind of see how you're trending from, I guess, an optimization standpoint. And all optimization is just a fancy word for how much information you have out there, right? Like, is your information accurate, right? So I can update my social profiles. I can look at my reviews, like all that stuff here in one place. So that's the Google GBP optimization tab, right? One of the other things is we talked about in the beginning when we first started engagement, right? So engagement means, am I responding to my customers? Are we engaging back and forth on those reviews? So Google like, and this is all about ranking, SEO, stuff like that, right? Getting your profile seen. The more you engage with your customers when they leave a review, Google loves that, right? Because that means people are using their platform more, right? So the best way to engage isn't always like go through each profile yourself, right? I actually have my AI responding to reviews, and I know like people are like, oh, you got AI talking. Like, no, it's the customers don't know it's AI, but what happens is the AI will respond to new reviews. I can set it like, hey, if I get a 4 and a 5 star review, just simply thank the customer for leaving a review, thank them for their time, stuff like that. Now, I also have it set to like, hey, don't respond to anything that are 3 stars and below, because I want to respond to those myself personally, right? To really break down the issue. And that's all about customer service, right? We showed to the example at the beginning with the restaurant, they had, 2 or 3 1 star reviews and they never responded to them. So as a customer, I'm thinking, okay, they got a 1 star review, but they never actually talked to the customer to kind of, rectify the issue. And you're not going to always get 5 star reviews. You're going to get customers who may be frustrated. You may have showed up late to an appointment, so they leave you a bad review, right? Don't take it personally. Just take it as an opportunity to further engage with that client. And you do that by responding to the review in a timely manner. But if you don't want to do that manually, you do have the opportunity to do that automatically through AI. So we set up our AI to respond to our customers, just thanking them for their response, and know that the response is not the same every time. If you ever use ChatGPT, you can put 1,000 questions in there. It'll give 1,000 different answers, different ways. So it's the same concept. It's just a conversational based model that takes what they said and responds to it in a way that is professional. Any questions on any of the AI stuff? But I did want to kind of briefly say, okay, yeah, there's a way for you to kind of scale this because, like, let's say you went in here and uploaded all your Medicare private pay contacts from the last 3 to 6 months, right? Once those reviews start rolling in and you're a business owner, you're not gonna have time to sit there and respond to every single client. So this is a way that you can kind of scale that review process without having to spend more time in your business. Because the more time you spend, doing other things, you can it just helps you better in the business.
And what really stands out to me is the automations that you're able to set up for this because, when we first started our business, we would ask our clients, well, we would do the trip and then we would have to, get back in the office and then send the client the email and say, hey, can you please leave us a review, right? So that wasn't on automation. That was something that we had to remember. Okay, we did 10 trips last week. We got to send them an email, right?
Yeah,
But if we
exactly.
had an automation, we could have sent that email like the day of or the day after the trip, why the experience is fresh in our client's mind versus forgetting about it, forgetting to do it, and then sending the email a week later, right? So they may not be as willing to
Exactly.
go on there, or they may have forgotten about what the experience was like or what the driver's name was. So the fact that you can set that up in automation, I think is really good. And also, something I want to point out too is when your clients leave a review on your Google My Business profile, you want to make sure that you're responding to that review like right away. Don't let weeks go, don't let months go. I'll be honest, we've let a couple weeks go. But you want to try to stay on top of it as much as you can.
Yeah, because I mean, I've left reviews on like businesses, and if I get a response like the same day, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, they really paying attention to what's going on in their business, their customers, right? And that's important. So that can help even start even more repeat business for you, right? One of the other things I really wanted to point out, especially for I love my Medicare, my Medicaid people who are it's like, hey, I'm just using brokers. I don't need to worry about private pay, right? You can leverage your Medicare, Medicaid patients' reviews to attract private pay customers, right? So we talked about, hey, if you have contacts that you've done business with, whether you just need their name, email, and sometimes you'll have their phone number, right? You can have that information and still request reviews from those folks and have a Google business profile that has reviews because on the Google, on the profile, on the review, nobody knows their method of payment. They just know they took they use your business and you provided a great service, right? So you want to leverage the business that you already have to help grow your business. And that's one of the best ways to do this. Like, hey, let me reach out to the people I've already done business with, get a review from them, and now I have that review living in my profile for years to come. And if anybody wants to use my service, they'll look my business up and realize, oh, okay, they done business in the community. They've got 4 or 5 stars. I think they're a reputable company, and I want to try them out. Right? It just kind of helps add to that credibility for sure.
Okay.
And also,
Also,
Go ahead.
Good,
go ahead,
good.
Monica.
I was just gonna say, and also like you'll be surprised the number of new customers that we generate just by our Google My Business profile. Like when people call, we tend to ask, "How did you hear about our company?" And they was like, "You guys have great reviews." I went and read some of your reviews, and based on your reviews, that's why I reached out to you guys. So even that within itself, like that's how you also generate, new customers as well based on the reviews that are listed on your website.
And actually, on the other end of that, like reviews themselves won't like get you business, but they definitely will stop you from getting business, right? So if
Yes.
you've gotten terrible reviews, nobody wants to use a service that everybody thinks is terrible, right? So it's definitely a roadblock if you don't have any reviews or if you have bad reviews, right? It stops you from getting and attracting more customers.
Yeah. And
Jasmine, you were going to say something? Go ahead. Yeah.
yeah, I was. And I know we talked a lot about setting up, the profile, but also if we could touch a little bit on keeping it up to date with those images and just providing updates on what your business is doing. Monica and I, in our business, MJ Reliable Transportation, we go to a lot of healthcare events. And on our profile, sometimes we'll include photos of the event that we went to. We'll say, MJ Reliable Transportation is going to be here on this date and this time. So really build your profile as if you're building a community and keeping your community informed of what you're doing or what your business has going on or what's exciting about your business.
Yeah, especially photos, right? So, um,
And make sure they're good photos because I've seen some horrible photos.
yeah.
Make sure they're good quality.
Exactly, right. So you see how people are like you guys are constantly, putting photos of your business. Like so people like to see, oh yeah, I actually see them doing the service that they're saying they're doing, right? So that helps optimize your profile, right? So all that information is here, right? I mean, 5 out of 5, right? I mean, this is what your profile is supposed to look like when somebody goes to your business and they can see all that information.
Yeah.
Oh, let me just put this out there too, just in case you guys go to our profile. If you see a negative review, it is truly not from our business. It is from a business that has a unique name, just like our
Oh, okay,
business.
okay.
Yeah.
And
Can we call them out? Because I don't appreciate it.
Go
And,
ahead, go. You want me to respond to him right now? I'll
and
go
you know what?
respond to
Let me
him.
ask you something, Harry, why we got you on here? Because
Yeah.
this company, this company has a similar name to ours.
yes,
And they don't have an online presence at all.
no.
Are they in? They're in Los Angeles.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're in Los Angeles. and they have a ton of vehicles, no online presence. So when people type of MJ Transport, we're automatically coming up. People are leaving reviews.
Ah.
Can we dispute those reviews?
Yes, absolutely. You can dispute those reviews inside the Google Business platform. There's also a way to where is it at? I think it's settings. I think there's a setting in here where you can actually so some reviews are actually bots. Like so if you get like bot reviews, this will actually filter out those reviews and actually report them automatically. But here it is, spam reviews, sorry. So if you turn this on, it'll help enable if people aren't leaving reviews that are like for the actual business that they're trying to leave a review for, right? So that all goes into this spam detection thing, right? So it can do it automatically, or you can manually go to Google and you can actually hit usually there's a button here that says dispute. If you pull up the actual review, you can dispute it within the review itself.
Okay. All right. Thank
Okay.
you for that
So,
information.
see, that's good information for you guys as well. Like, so if you do get a negative review and it's not really pertaining to your company, just know that, there is
You
a
can
way
dispute.
to
Yep,
dispute,
absolutely.
dispute that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
even if you respond to it and say, "Hey, I think you were looking for MJ such and such. We're actually a different company, right?" Sometimes the person who's left it, like they may take it down, like, "Oh, let me take this down and put it for the actual company," right? So, like I said, responding to negative reviews is just as important as responding to the positive reviews that you get as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Okay.
And we
Yeah.
have Renee who commented. She says, I must say, Osborne Digital has been an essential part of my NEMT business. So grateful. So,
Oh,
Oh,
thank you, Renee. Appreciate it.
and Larry agreed. Larry
Yeah,
Walker agreed to her comment as
no,
well.
no, thank you guys. Really, thank you guys. And they are obviously using our CRM platform as well to conduct their entire business. But I know some businesses are already integrated with the things that they do. We're not trying to like sell you on some new system that you got to implement. Right? There's features in here that you can use within your business that we can get going for you, so you can help take advantage of some of these opportunities from a Google business perspective. Um, talk about a couple other things, right? A couple other things that are pretty cool. So as I get reviews for my business, I can actually have like I can create like little widgets and stuff like that to actually post on my website. I can customize those to look, however I want them to look, and then I can actually copy and paste the code into my website so it looks like, oh, okay, yeah, I can, keep all my reviews on my website. So if somebody goes to my Google business profile and they click website, now they're taken to my website where it kind of reiterates, hey, 5-star reviews. Here are the reviews from people also looking for the same service as you are. So you have the ability to do that right here in the system. Um, let's talk about listings. This is going to be I think that a lot of people are going to get a lot of benefit from this. So listings is a service that helps with your search engine optimization. And search engine optimization is all about how do I rank in Google, right? So if I got 30 NEMT providers in my area, how do I maintain being in the top 5 results, right? And we're talking outside of advertising. So if you're not advertising, am I still showing up in the search when people are looking for my business, right? So one of the important things in listings is that it creates backlinks. So if you're like any web person will tell you about backlinks, right? Backlinks are just references to your website from other websites. So if I go to the Chamber of Commerce, is MJ reliable there, right? So Google uses backlinks to really say, okay, yeah, this is a reputable business. They're out there. They're on all these different websites, all these different directories, local directories. Let's show this business because this business has to be important because it's on all these other different websites, right? So listings helps register your business on those different entities, right? So I'll show you what that looks like. Uh, so each local area or each city is going to be different in terms of what local directories they have. But once you get on those local directories with your business information, your hours of service, your website, and that information is consistent across all platforms, right? That's how you optimize your Google profile. And that's how you get ranking in Google because you have all these different backlinks that all say the same thing, talking about the same information, and it's all accurate, right? So in this particular case, there's probably about 66 different, listings for a business that it can, list their business, right? So this actually goes through and registers the business on all these different platforms. So you can see a couple of them are updating. If you have a business that you're not showing your address, some platforms won't allow you to register, right? So like Apple Maps, right? If you don't have a address, you don't need to be on Apple Maps because nobody's going to drive to your location. So some of those um, are more strict about, having a profile if you don't want to show your registered address. So things like this over time, as these sync and these update, Mobile Transit Cares LLC will be ranked higher in Google because they got all their information that is consistent across all those different platforms. So whenever she stops advertising and she has her business and she's like, hey, I'm doing my day-to-day thing. Now my business is still showing to customers who are looking for particular keywords. So we can go in here, we can actually set the keywords we want our business to show up. So again, it's talking about SEO, which is the search engine optimization. So we go in here and we say, hey, I want to show up in these keywords. And you can always change these over time, but they're the same keywords across all the different platforms. And that's how you rank in Google. I know it's a lot of information to think about, but it's kind of one of the, especially if you're a new business and you're just getting started, you want to make sure you have your business information across as many platforms as as you can, right? Yelp, Bing, Yahoo, Apple, Chamber of Commerce. There's some local stuff that you may not even know about that's available for your business, like things like Around Me, just little directories that people may be going to see what new businesses are in their area. Make sure your business is one of those that is shown, right? So that's the way. That's what the listings tab is all about. Because I've had a couple clients like, what is that? What does it do? It's just a way to make sure that you're continuously ranking in Google, even if when you're not advertising your business. Make sense?
Yeah, that's a lot of information, Harry.
Yeah, I know it's a lot. It's a lot of information.
That's good
Um,
stuff, though.
any
Yeah.
questions in the chat?
No questions in the
Oh,
chat. And Harry, you shared some really good information to kind of get people going. I know that the thing that I love about Harry the most is he offers these free strategy calls to our community just to kind of get a feel of where you're at, what type of support you need, and then how he can support you. So, Harry, if you could share that information
Yes,
with our
absolutely.
guests, that would be great.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the consultations are free. Like, even if you have a question about, simple stuff, just reach out to us. We can, get on a call and walk you through it. That QR code there, if you scan that, you can set up a meeting right now. It'll take you directly to our calendar to set up some time. If you want to talk through your Google business profile, talk through your marketing strategy, all that stuff, we can talk through that on the call. There's also our website, obviously Osborne Digital NEMT, where you can look at all of our service offerings and what we provide to the community from a marketing perspective. But yeah, we love what we do, whether it's from websites to CRMs. We got something that we can do for you from a marketing perspective for sure. So reach out to us if you have questions, especially Google Business Profile is one of those really important things that you need for your business, and it's with your business for a lifetime, right? So you want to make sure that you're getting it set up correctly and make sure that you're leveraging that profile to get you more customers. So um, I know we talked a lot. So if you guys have questions that you may not feel comfortable with asking in the greater audience, just set up a meeting. We'll get you going.
So it looks like Tiffany did post a question here. Is it
Yes.
lists that I need to follow before I can get contracts with Medicaid? I'm in the process of my van to get inspected next week. What? Okay, so Tiffany, we could definitely talk about that. I just want to wrap things up with Harry and thank Harry for joining us. Like he said, scan the QR code in the front of you if you are looking to get more information on how to position or better position your business on Google My Business. I know a lot of you guys also are looking for websites and things like that to help with your marketing efforts, Harry is your guy. He can absolutely help you with that. Let's see, Anna, this was a wealth of information. Thank you. I took plenty of notes, but I may have missed some things. Would it be possible for the Zoom participants to receive the link to the video recording? Harry, if you could email me that video, yeah, yeah, if you could share it, like add it on a drive or something, and I could share it with our participants.
Yeah, actually, I think the best way to do is to send them this presentation that because it has the link to the
Oh,
so the
even
link
that.
it takes them to a Loom video, so the video is actually on Loom. So if they click that link, it'll pull up directly in their browser, or if they, if they're on a phone, it'll pull up on their phone as well.
Okay, yeah, if you could email me that and then I'll send it over to our participants. So many people are saying thank you, Harry. They
Yeah.
truly appreciate you for joining us. The presentation was great. So that's wonderful feedback.
Very
Yay.
good, very good.
All right, guys, have a great weekend. And for those that will be in Dallas, we'll see you in Dallas.
See you guys. Take care. Have a good weekend.
Bye.